Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now, from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. Dorothy, good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
And a belated happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
And I think you remember a couple of years ago, we had our friend Rachel Juergens on the show with Kurt Shelby.
Yes, I do.
At the time, they were planning to open Red's Corner in Southern Pines.
Yeah.
Which has become since an iconic landscape, part of the neighborhood, so to speak.
Yes, it's a beautiful area.
So it's anchored by a kiosk at the front of the lot called Pony Espresso, which I just found out has been there 14 years.
I did not know that.
I didn't either. I had no idea it's been there that long. So that takes us back to 2010.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Today, we're being joined by Nobe Cannon, who is the manager of Pony Espresso. And Nobe, first of all, I want to say good morning and thanks for coming.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I see you just about every morning.
At least once, yep.
At least once. Like this morning, it was twice.
It was twice, yep.
And the kiosk, Pony Espresso has become its own little lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. It has.
You have. It's almost like a club. The same people come every morning.
Yeah, I would say 75% of our traffic is pretty much regulars.
Right.
We see pretty much every day. Mm-hmm.
So Pony Espresso is not related to Red's Corner. Is that correct? It's a separate entity, or is it owned by the same?
It's owned by the same guy, Scott, who bought it from Rachel, I think November of last year.
Right.
So it's all the same, but we're pretty separate. You know, we do some things together, and some of the girls, our baristas, are also bartenders at Red. So we have some crossover there.
Right.
And, you know, of course, we know all of the Red's employees. They know us. We get coffee, beer, all that.
Well, you have, I tell you, coming over there, it's almost like part of my daily routine. And many times I'll see people in line that I know. Mm-hmm. And it's really like a community-based drive-through.
It is.
People who drive by on the corner of Morganton and Old US 1 will see the lineup in the morning. Mm-hmm. And you've been the manager there for 2 years.
Yes.
And you've assembled actually a great group of young ladies.
They are wonderful.
They're really, I mean, they're so, all of them, so pleasant, so sweet. Some of them have personalities that are like off the charts.
You're not kidding.
And they're their own lifestyles.
Yep.
Yep. And we joke. I mean, when I come in, I'm always ordering the same thing, which is an Americano.
Halfway up.
But they know me now, so what they tell me is, gee, we're going to have a lavender citrus mocha for you, some designer drink, knowing full well that I will never do that.
We do. We like to mess with our regulars.
But it's amazing how so many of the ladies who work there, they know by the car what to make and who's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we try to look ahead, especially in the mornings when the line gets long. We try to know your drink and have it ready for you. Everybody's in a hurry in the morning, so we do our best to remember. A lot of times I won't know your name, but I'll see you in the grocery store and I'll know exactly what you get to drink.
Yeah. How, tell me, what's your relationship to Moore County? How did you get here?
So I moved here, I think 7 years ago for the horses.
Okay.
Before that, I had worked, I was an apprentice for an Olympic rider in Wadesboro for, I think, 5 years.
Okay.
And I moved back home to Louisiana for a year, and then I loved it down there, but my horse got anhydrosis, so he couldn't sweat down there. It was too hot.
Right.
So I moved back up here, and I've been here ever since. I love it.
So it was the equine, the nature of our
It
equine
is.
community.
Yep. It's such a
brought you here.
horsey place. It's still, I can still drive like an hour, 15 minutes to get with my coach. And that's actually how I ended up working at the Pony Espresso too, because Rachel takes lessons from the same person I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's how we met.
So you've been a resident here for 7 years.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, the Pony Espresso kiosk is an amazing little building.
It is.
It looks, from the outside, kind of innocuous. I mean, it's got the wood shingles, and some of the ladies who work there will dress it up at Easter or Halloween or Christmas.
My favorite part of being there.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But looking inside the building, it's an amazing limited amount of space with an amazing amount of equipment.
Yes.
And
it's
shelving.
like a clown car. You wouldn't believe until you walked in there how much space there really is.
Right.
And people just keep piling in, piling out. In the mornings, we have 3 girls in there, plus all our equipment, giant fridge for all the milk, the giant espresso machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you put in a lot of hours in there, don't you?
Yes.
And you're
Yep.
managing a lot of people all the time. How do you find such high quality young ladies? Because they're really all delightful, every one of them.
They really are. We're really lucky right now because I think a lot of businesses are struggling to find help, and we've been lucky. I think after COVID we did struggle a little bit, but right now we have just such a wonderful group.
Yeah.
I think either 4 or 5 of them are horse girls that we found,
Okay.
or customers who have been coming through, like Clara. A lot of people in town know her. She's a
Sure.
bartender and a barista, and she
And
came
she's
through.
and Clara is her own lifestyle.
Yeah, yep.
Without question.
Yep. She came through and, was a customer for a while and then decided to work there, which was great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say word of mouth, and they come to the hut.
Do they have any? I remember Rachel talking a couple of years ago. I don't know if anything came of it. Any plans to open another
I
Pony
don't
Espresso
know.
in Moore County?
Our customers come through a lot and tell us about, this would be a great place, or you really should think about the corner of so-and-so would be a nice place. And so I passed that along, and I guess we'll see what Scott does with it. I haven't heard anything, but it would be fun.
The cost of constructing that type of kiosk is not inexpensive.
I would imagine, yeah, there's a lot of, the plumbing has to be right, the water filtration for the espresso machine,
Right.
and the equipment. Equipment is expensive too.
Your menu is crazy. I mean, it looks like a Chinese menu with all these choices, and I'm as boring as they come. I just come up and it's just always the same drink.
It is always the same, sadly.
And
yeah.
Clara's always trying to talk me into one of these designer drinks, which she knows, I mean, it's just never going to happen. But talk a little bit about the types of beverages you serve, coffee and beyond.
Yeah, so we always have our house brew coffee. We get our coffee from Counterculture, which is out of Durham. They're a really cool company, really sustainable stuff. They're always working on that. Organic beans, obviously. So we have our house blend, and then also espresso. And so we do, our top seller is probably lattes, flavored lattes, in case you'd like to try.
Okay.
And so we have 2 sizes, small and large. We try to keep that simple. Americanos, cortados. And we
what?
also,
What's a cortado?
It's 2 shots with a little bit of steamed cream, kind of like the same amount of espresso, but cream. So it's a small drink. It's teeny.
Okay.
Yep. Stream cream or milk. You could do either one. Iced drinks, iced lattes. We've got a couple options for kids: hot chocolates, blended lemonades, blended coffees. And we also have iced tea that we're trying to, this summer, the girls and I were trying to figure out different flavors for the iced tea. So that'll be exciting.
They should call me for some advice on that.
Okay.
Lavender, infused lavender teas and all this
We
good
could
stuff.
do all of that,
Oh, yeah.
yes. Yep.
I can hear them laughing at me now. How do they select the coffees? I mean, you mentioned counterculture, and I go into a lot of different shops and I'll see that brand.
Yeah, and they do have a lot of different blends. We stuck with what Rachel picked when she first opened.
Okay.
And that's what we've done. That seems to work. Everybody loves it. I think the hologram has, I want to say, notes of fruit and dark chocolate, and then our other blend is 46 for our house coffee. It is delicious and rich. And
Since you have people that drive through and you have two windows on either side of the hut, what are the most time-consuming drinks to make?
oh gosh,
Well,
I don't want to out anybody.
no, you don't have to. I mean, just it is what it is.
Probably honestly the blended coffees. They take a while because you get the ice and then you put the iced coffee in and then you get the powders to blend and then you blend them and then you have to wash out the blender afterwards. And so those are time consuming, but we still love making them. Don't not order them.
Right. But you have sometimes you have three baristas in that small space, and you're all working in concert with one another. You have to sort of respect everybody's physical space so you can move.
Yeah,
around.
well, Rachel worked out that hut so that there are kind of three different stations, and so that's how we managed to not hit each other all that much. So one girl does shots and flavors, one girl does milk, and the other girl's in the back doing house coffee and ringing people up. Okay. So that's one of the first training things, and I think it's hard. That's one of the hardest things to train is stay in your station, so that everything runs as efficiently as possible. But yeah, that's how it works out in that tiny hut to get those drinks cranked out.
And you do all the training for the baristas.
Now, yeah. Rachel, of course, trained me, but yep, now it's me. And the girls help. The older girls, or the more experienced girls, I should say, are great about helping out new folks.
Yeah. One of the cool things about Pony Espresso is because you have two serving sides on the building, you can have a car on one side and a car on the other. And many times I've seen people who know the person on the other side, and somebody is always buying somebody else a coffee or a drink.
They do that a ton. And then we have a couple sweet guys who come through pretty much every day, and one of them, Chuck, we love him, and he does a pay it forward at least once a week. It's fun to see the chain, because you'll say, oh, the guy in front of you paid for your coffee. Oh, I want to pay for the next one. I want to pay for the next one. So especially around Christmas time, that chain will go for hours, which is really cool. But yeah, or you'll see somebody in line, like even today, Kurt Shelby actually said, oh, Rachel's in line, different Rachel. Let me get her drink, and luckily we did know what she got, so that was easy. But
is that right?
Yeah, so that's fun. It is a real sense of community around there.
If you Google coffee, benefits of coffee, you get so much information on social media about the health benefits,
right,
or the things to be cautious of. And I just happened to pull up an article from the Johns Hopkins Medical Center.
Reputable, I would say. Yeah.
Very reputable. They say the case for coffee is stronger than ever. Coffee is chock full of substances that can help guard against conditions, including Alzheimer's and heart disease. But coffee contains antioxidants and other active supplements that may reduce internal inflammation. However, what about sometimes they'll say drink coffee black. In other words, don't put a lot of additives into it, because then it becomes either fattening or too
sugar, maybe, I don't know.
Something. But coffee is I mean, I love this article, because anyone that loves coffee like I do, or like you do,
it's a health food, basically,
Right. That's what we say. We want to lock ourselves into these articles that agree with our thinking.
I would agree.
Let's see. What else is it?
I have a little sweatshirt that says "Coffee saves lives," and I do believe that.
Do you really?
I do. Yep.
So, have you ever been a coffee drinker?
No, I had not had a sip. Well, I just didn't like it. I'd never drank coffee before I came
Oh.
to the hut.
Oh,
And now in the mornings, I actually drink a chai. I love the chai that we have.
chai tea.
A chai tea latte. Mm-hmm.
And if it's a latte, that means you put milk in it?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yep.
cream? Okay.
Yeah, and it's like a cinnamony, spicy, delicious cup of morning goodness.
Okay. This article says your liver will thank you, your DNA will be stronger, your odds of getting colon cancer will go way down.
And everybody that you're around will be happier if you have had your morning coffee.
You're not as likely to suffer a stroke. I'm going to break up
Look
on
at
this
all
show
that.
right
We
now.
should make a little poster and hang it at
We'll
the
go-
hut.
Yeah, we'll go back and get some more. Pony Espresso is going nowhere. It's been it's as solid a business. Again, I had a hard time believing it was 14 years.
Yeah, yep.
Rachel was when she came here. I think she came here like you did
With the horses,
with
yep.
the horses, and I think she missed. She came from the West Washington,
She's from
Oregon.
and they have a lot of those there. So she brought that business model here.
Well, what she started remains. I mean, she's no longer involved in it, but her
Well,
presence
she's involved
is,
enough. Yeah, she still comes around, makes sure that
She does.
we're keeping it how she wants. You
She-
know,
she was
tries
very-
the coffee and.
very maternal towards the. It was her baby.
Oh yes, yep. And we all adore Rachel. You know, she's such a savvy businesswoman. She is just such a kind human, which I think can be rare. So.
And very humble.
Oh yeah, yep. Always humble.
By the time this show airs, you're going to actually be in Italy on your honeymoon.
I sure will.
An opportunity to search out the coffee bins of Italy to see if you can bring
Yes.
back any product.
Yes, we are going to a lot of different regions, and so what I understand, it's just totally different cuisine, kind of all the different parts, and I imagine totally different coffee. I have been researching the coffee etiquette there, and I guess you should not ask for a cappuccino after breakfast. There is no afternoon cappuccino. I think you just get espresso
Really?
in the afternoon. So I have to remember that so I don't stick out like a sore thumb. But
Is that right?
yeah.
Coffee etiquette. Okay. I know that some of the coffees are so strong.
Yes.
You could actually try to put cream or milk in them and it disappears. And
Oof.
it stays black. And you go, where did it go? But you're going to be there for what, 3 weeks?
3 weeks. Yep. And I want to try the affogato really bad with the ice cream. That sounds right up my alley.
What is it?
It's just like an espresso shot over an ice cream scoop. A scoop of like vanilla ice cream.
Wow.
And then down in the south part, there's some sort of sweetened almond cream that they put with the coffee. So I'll definitely try that out and see. When we went to France 2 years ago, there was pistachio everywhere. So when we got back, I lobbied to add pistachio flavoring, and it's been a hit. I think people like it.
Do you have a lot of pressure to come up with new drinks all the time?
Well, I change the specials every week.
Okay.
And so we do them based on the holidays, or the girls are fun too. They get really into it, and I'll get a text at 10 o'clock at night. Hey, we should try this special.
Right.
So we take notes of all of that. And yeah, we have our tried and true ones that everybody loves. And then we try to come up with new fun things too. A lot of people love the special board, and they'll just get whatever the special is that week. They just say pick one. So
Right.
that's fun.
There's a lot of competition in Moore County with coffee shops, Starbucks. I don't know how many we have now, 4.
We have a lot.
But your business keeps growing.
Yeah.
I see it. I mean, just by the morning traffic, sometimes I can see it at peak hours. What are the hours of Pony Espresso?
So during the week, we open at 6 and close at 5. So we're there pretty much all day. And then on the weekends, 7:30 to noon for Saturday and 8 to noon on Sunday.
8 to noon on Sunday.
Yep.
And there are lots of holidays that you're actually open a couple of hours.
Yes, we've
in the mornings.
always, every holiday we're open, even on Christmas. The girls, some girls are here and their families don't live close, and our customers kind of are our family, so we hang out with them on Christmas instead. Give them drinks on their way to go do their holiday things.
Well, you're a great spokesperson for Pony Espresso. You have a great team, and for people who haven't been there but they've driven by, I encourage you to try Pony Espresso. It's just a friendly. It's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah, or Cheers. Everybody
Yeah.
knows your name.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Or at least your drink. Yeah.
That's right. We couldn't get all your baristas to come in here. The studio wouldn't handle them all, but they're all
It would be so
personalities
loud.
in their own right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the camaraderie that I sense is
It's
all
really
very,
fun.
very
Yeah.
good.
You guys should all pop by when we're having our karaoke mornings because the singing baristas are really something.
Thank you for coming by,
Yes, thank you.
and enjoy Italy.
Thank you.
Who's
I
taking
will.
over for you when you're gone?
The girls are all covering shifts, so you'll see more of the normal girls, and then some of our college girls are coming back right when I'm gone, and so they'll pop in and help me out. So,
Right.
Yep.
Well, it was great that you came in, and I'm glad you were willing to do so. You're a great spokesperson.
Oh, thanks.
Nobe Cannon, Pony Espresso, at Red's Corner. Give it a shot. Give it
A shot.
a shot.
I like it.
Give it a try.
Very good. Thanks, Bill.
This is All Things More Canny. We'll be back in the second set. Welcome back to our second set of All Things More County. We're gonna, Dorothy, we're gonna stick with Red's Corner
Okay.
a little bit today. I mean, we're gonna move away from Pony Espresso, and I'm being joined the second half of the show by Tom Collins, who lives in Southern Pines, who is one of the food truck vendors, owners. And he has a food truck called Wurst. And for any of you that are driving on North May Street, either to or from Highway 1, you look to the left near Mayflower, and you will see his truck parked there. But you're a vendor at Red's Corner amongst other places, aren't you, Tom?
Yes, I am.
So there's a story behind, first of all, how you got here.
Yeah.
I'd like to just, we only have about 20 or so
Yep.
a minute, but it's an interesting story.
Yep.
So you moved here in what year?
We moved here in 2015.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah. And you were obviously a big part of that, but helping us get here.
Well, you are near retirement.
Yeah, so I've got about 18 months left
In the military?
till I retire from the Army.
18 months?
Yep.
Okay. You didn't wait very long to venture out and start another venture.
No, I did not. It's something I'd always thought about doing for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Talked to my wife about it a bunch over and over again. Really good friends with Brittany RC, who owns Meat and Greek.
Right.
She's been a huge part of this as well, and just talked about it over and over again. And then I just came home one night, and my wife was like, "Tommy, just do it. Like, I just want you to do it. Like, don't be 50 and wish, like, man, I really wish I'd have done this like 10 years ago."
Your wife is smart to say that because I made a career change halfway through, and I always wish I had made it sooner and not waited. I was 43, I think, or 44 at the time. I wish I had done it sooner.
Yeah.
Your wife's an old soul.
Yeah. She's been very supportive, if beyond supportive.
So you decided, I mean, prior to that, had you started giving a thought to what you were going to do in your second career?
So it's kind of at the point as like whether or not I was going to retire at 20 years in the Army or keep going.
Okay.
Like I said, we've lived here since 2015. Since we've moved here, we've had 2 more kids, so we have four sons.
Yeah.
And they've become very ingrained in the community.
Yep.
So I was kind of at that point where I had to make a decision in my career whether I was going to go down a path to where we were going to have to move every 2 to 1 year, and end up doing like probably 7, 8 more years in the Army. I'd do about 25, 26 years if I went down that path. And just for me personally, just decided that it wasn't worth it for me and the family to do that. At the end of the day, we always have to take our uniform off one day, whether it's retiring at 20 or 30. So I just made that decision that I was gonna, just do my 20 years of active service and retire from then.
And you started looking into purchasing and assembling a food truck.
Yeah, so I'd spent a lot of time on Brittany Arcee's truck, meet and Greek, just hanging out with her and just kind of like it. I found it to be fun to work on the food truck with her, like the energy,
Yeah.
interacting with people
Yep.
is something I love doing.
Yeah.
And so her and I would just always, spitball the idea of like, man, like opening my own truck and like maybe like a German truck, after spending 7 years in Germany, etc. And so we were talking actually at my promotion party in my backyard. Brittany and I were talking, and she just convinced me to do it. She was like, "You just need to do it. Like, just
Yeah.
there's openness in the market for it. Like, there's no other truck like that around here.
Yeah, I don't think there is either, is there?
There's one in Raleigh.
Oh, that doesn't count.
yeah,
Does it
so-
count now? So you, if I'm not mistaken, the Meeting Greek truck is also, you share the same area to park?
Yes, that's Brittany's building, and she's kind enough to let me park it there and let it sleep there at night. So
Good, gotcha.
yeah.
So so you're still in the military?
Yes.
So you're working how many days a week with the food truck?
So when we started, we were doing about 1 to 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Right now, we're doing 3, maybe 4 a week. So I've been fortunate enough to find a team of individuals that I trust that can work the truck without me. So we do a lot of the prep together. So that way, all they have to do is I'll park the truck somewhere, like at Red's on Monday. It was there. I was not there at all that day. So I parked it Sunday night, plugged it in, and all my team had to do was come in and just heat everything up.
Do you do the prepping on the truck, or do you do the prepping and bring it to the truck?
We do it on the truck. So I've got a flat top, an oven, a stove, deep fryers on the truck. So we'll prep on the truck, and then just store it in the fridge on the truck, and they'll just pull it out that day, get everything ready, and they're ready to rock without me there. They call me if there's any issues, but they're very reliable.
You're not of German descent.
I am not.
You're
but
Irish.
Yes, but
So-
I've spent about 7 years of my life in Germany.
Okay.
Grew up there a little bit as a child because my father was active duty Army as well.
Okay.
And then I was stationed there. My wife and I were stationed there from 2010 to 2013. So like Germany's always been a big part of our life.
Right. Right.
And even my in-laws lived in Germany, so it's been a big part of their life. So just German food, German culture.
Tell me about the foods that you're serving, the specials,
So that's part of the challenge. One of the challenges of a food truck is you're limited on obviously space in the truck and where you can put
Right.
things to cook food, store food, etc. So really, we tried when we were developing the menu, we tried to have as many options as possible, but with like the same basics in it, just different variations of it. So obviously, when people think German food, they immediately think bratwurst or like a schnitzel. So those are our 2 base items on the menu.
right.
We work really hard with a butcher in Spring Lake, Noble's Meats,
Okay.
and I get my brats from them every week. They've been really good teammates and helped me out with this. Their brats are absolutely amazing. And then we make the schnitzels in-house that they have of service. So, but yeah, so we just do, we have those 2 proteins, then we just have different variations of it. So, bratwurst on a piece of Brötchen, or like a currywurst, which is quintessential German street food, where it's cut up with a curry ketchup that we make in-house on top of it. I make beer cheese, and I was like, well, people like loaded fries, so we're like, what bratwurst with sauteed onions on top of fries with beer cheese sounds
Right.
great. So,
Right.
And then we do the same for the schnitzel. We do a regular schnitzel, a Jaeger schnitzel, which is very normal in Germany. It's a mushroom gravy, and then we do like a loaded schnitzel, and then we have like very big. Think Germany, you think beer, you think pretzels. We have very large, like 10-ounce Bavarian style pretzels as well that we serve. So
You don't have any competition here. You're the only. I mean, you're the only German.
yes, that's sometimes a blessing and not, because it is very specific food.
Yes.
So sometimes people, you either really want a bratwurst or a schnitzel, or you want something else. So it is a toss up sometimes. But yeah, we do draw a lot of military crowds because there are so many people that have spent time in Germany.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so they're just looking for something to remind them of their time over there.
What are the customer favorites?
The currywurst, and then the Jaeger schnitzel does really well.
Do you have any pressure on yourself to come up with new items? Specials, for instance.
Yeah, so we started doing sides. That's one of my biggest challenges. There's a lot of challenges at this, but one of my biggest ones is not doing too much, because I always want to do more. I always want to do
Right.
like a rouladen or like something different, because I just enjoy cooking and feeding people.
Right.
So I just had to I had to edit myself on what we have in the truck. So what I've been doing is different sides because that's easy to make. It's low cost if I don't sell it, and then it's just something we switch up. So we do a potato salad, spätzle, and then for the summer I'll do a German cucumber salad.
Is a German potato salad? It's got a vinegar
Yeah,
base.
it's vinegar based. So it's vinegar,
Great, yeah.
Pickles, onions, and
Right.
apples.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not creamy.
No,
No
it's not a creamy
mayonnaise.
one. If you go to
Perfect.
northern Germany, they have creamy ones, but we're doing a Bavarian style.
Okay. Do you book events beyond Red's Corner?
I do. So we've gone up. We were at Hugger Mugger in Sanford this Sunday. We go to Fayetteville quite a bit. We'll go an hour and a half to 2 hours away
Okay.
if it's a good event. We go to Dirtbag a lot in Hope Mills,
Okay.
which is a big brewery out there.
Okay.
So
So you have 4 boys.
I do.
Give me the age. I'm afraid to ask because I'm. Go ahead. Just
Yeah,
give
they're
it to me.
William's 12, Kenny's 10, Russell's 4, and Kevin just turned 3.
Okay. So your 10 and 12-year-old,
Mhm.
they're at that impressionable age where they're following dad around, right? I mean, they're getting exposure to the food truck. I'm sure you are trying to include them where they want to be included.
Yeah, definitely Kenny. He's very motivated by money, so he loves to work in the food truck. So he'll work the window, and
Is that right?
Yeah, he'll work the window at least once a weekend.
He's 12?
He's 10.
Oh, my
That's the
goodness.
10-year-old.
So you're 5th grader?
Yeah, 4th grade.
4th grade, okay.
I think. Yeah, I think he's in 4th. But yeah, he'll work the window. He works the point of sale system machine.
Really?
Does the change, writes on the tickets. Yeah.
And he's very good at it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and what about your 12-year-old?
He's not as interested in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Each child has a different spirit,
Yeah.
right? And you have to let their spirits just go where they go, right? But your 10-year-old is all over it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the hardest part about this that you did not anticipate?
The amount of things I didn't know that could go wrong.
Okay.
Having worked in Brittany's truck a bunch, you see some of the things, but until you're responsible for everything,
Right.
you don't realize all the different issues that can come up on a truck and like stop service or slow down service. For example, we pulled up somewhere one day. My truck initially wasn't pulling enough propane, so I wasn't getting enough propane to all the appliances. So I couldn't get anything lit, and there's a line of like 20 people outside just waiting for food, and me, and they're stressing out, trying to light a pilot in a deep fryer. So we got all that fixed. I had a guy come out and just fix everything, but just the things you don't know. Like in the Army, they train you for most of the things that you're going to do, so you kind of have a baseline of what to do when something happens.
Yes.
Not so much in a food truck. Luckily, to bring up Brittany again, she's been my food truck mentor. There's numerous times I was calling her frantically,
Right.
just, Brittany, I don't know what to do right now. And she would just stop what she was doing and come help me and fix it because she has so much experience on it.
Yeah. The truck itself, you own the truck?
Yes.
You outfitted it from scratch?
So I went through a company out of Gastonia. They build them from the ground up, and they just, you tell them what you want in it, and they build it, and they deliver it, and you just go pick it up. So
People don't have any idea how expensive these trucks these food trucks can be. No idea. It's like buying another house.
No, they're fairly. It's like buying another car.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would
put it in
better.
that, yeah.
That's better comparison.
So. It was definitely. I had some help from family to get started. My family's been both sides, in-laws, and my parents have been super supportive. And they kind of helped us get it off the ground a little bit. So,
What do you think spurs on the food truck craze? Is it that our society is so mobile? People want not the standard fare of the franchise restaurants.
I think it's variety, right?
Yeah.
Like you can go to Red's any day of the week, and there's going to be 6 different food trucks there.
Right.
Anything from Italian food, Greek food, ostrich burgers,
Right.
bobo tea. Like there's always going to be something different there. I think it's part just being outside too. People love to eat outside. I like to eat outside.
Yeah.
And then, as a food truck owner, right? Like one of the questions my dad asked me when I was starting this was, why don't you just do a brick and mortar restaurant? It's like, well, if I do that, then I have to wait for people to come to me.
Right.
Whereas if I have a mobile food unit, I can bring the food to people and just bounce around the area and just, keep people wanting it more if you're only there ever so often.
How long have you been in this business?
So we opened in September, and I did a really poor job planning and opened like the week before Oktoberfest started. So my very first event was an Oktoberfest event at the Growler store with Jerry and Brandy, and it was just absolutely insane. And I don't know if people saw it from the outside of the truck, but it was crazy, hectic on the inside of the truck. But we learned a lot. So we did that we were like super busy for like 4 weeks doing Oktoberfest events. It was just insane. We were the only truck at the Pinehurst Oktoberfest at the end of October. Had a line, probably 50 people deep for like 4 hours straight.
Right.
So it was great. It was crazy, but like I learned a lot just about our systems and processes within the truck,
Right.
and how to just streamline it and make things easier and get food out faster. So.
As you go forward and you start planning and refining where you go, where you book, are you going to be spreading your wings outside of Moore County, traveling a little bit more than you maybe had originally planned?
We do, and I would say booking, like back to your question about what's challenging as a food truck owner, bookings are also very challenging because you'll get engaged by small business owners, individuals saying like, we'd like a food truck for this event, and it's hard to you want to say yes to everything, but you have to have like the direct conversations with them to be like, hey, like how many people are you looking at?
Yeah.
Like, I can't go out there and do
Yeah.
X amount. Like I need to at least be making this amount of money in order just to cover staff, gas, fuel, everything.
Are you looking at a minimum of 40 people or more?
Yeah, like I would probably categorize it as like tickets, so like 40 to 50 tickets.
Okay.
Vice people.
Okay.
But yeah, so we go out to Fayetteville quite a bit.
Okay.
They have a food truck stop out there that we'll go to. We'll go to a brewery up in Cameron. So we've gone as far as like an hour and a half away, like an hour and a half radius.
Okay. Not to the beach, not to the.
No, not to the beach yet.
That's on,
I haven't
on the
spread
horizon.
I mean, if there's an event that's worth going out there for a day or two, we can definitely make a family vacation out of it, and Dad will just go work the 2 days. But
So you don't have much free time.
no, but I don't like having free time, so it works out.
And you made a comment earlier about your boys have developed strong roots here in the area, and you started a second business, which means that there's a good chance you're going to be staying here, laying down roots.
Yes, I mean that's the plan. At least like
great.
Until like the older two are out of high school, and then maybe we'll reassess. But
Right.
like right now we're gonna stay in the house that we bought
Right.
9 years ago. And
Right.
Maybe do some renovations, but the plan is to stay here for the foreseeable future.
Well, I have a lot of respect for people who evolve and who branch out into different things because, at your age, you have many chapters in front of you. And just because one may be closing, it doesn't mean, many more are going to be opening. And it doesn't stop. It gives you a chance to be very vital, and you become even more part of the community.
And that's probably been one of the most rewarding things is
Yeah.
I honestly didn't feel like part of the community until I've opened this truck.
Right.
I say I was like more of a user, right, like of the community because I was driving to Bragg for Liberty every day.
Yep.
Coming home,
Yep.
deploying this, that, and the other. I never really, outside of like going to dinner and drinks with my wife, like was not really part of the community.
Right.
And that's one of the things that impressed me the most was the support that I got from like all the other food trucks were all super supportive and helpful. All the other small business owners like really rallied behind me and just helped me and supported me and encouraged me. And so yeah, that's been great.
Did you underestimate the costs, the startup costs, the insurance costs, the maintenance costs?
Yeah, definitely. Brittany and I are sitting together this Friday to do an audit to just, look over all the numbers.
Yeah.
'Cause, I wouldn't say I underestimated it, but it's definitely when you look at some stuff sometimes you're like, wow, that's a lot of money.
But you are a businessman. You are a jack of a lot of trades because your skill set. You have to be the booking agent.
Yep.
You have to be the, the head prep, the chef, the managing people. It's it's a multitude of responsibilities that you don't get in a lot of positions because you're doing the whole thing from soup to nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I do have a team that does a lot of things for me to make the other stuff I do easier. But yeah, I mean, like bookkeeping, I sat on a phone with a bookkeeper for 3 hours before I submitted my taxes because I had no idea what I was doing with bookkeeping, and she broke it down for me. But yeah, there's a lot of aspects of the business like that, that I was not really prepared to tackle. But again, there's gotten plenty of support from local people on how to do all that.
Well, people, so your truck, it's Pine Wurst, German food. At Red's, are you there every week, once or twice a week?
We've been there routinely once or twice a week.
Great.
Since for like the last month or two.
Great. I'm proud of you. I think it's
thank you.
great. And keep reinventing yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
And you'll be a great role model for your boys.
Thank you, Bill.
At the same time. Tom Collins of Pine Wurst. You'll see him at Red's Corner. This is All Things Moore County. Have a great week. Thank you.